Hi everyone, Nicholas Buffett is here from sunny Cyprus, and today's tutorial is all about removing duplicates in an Excel spreadsheet. Now, before I begin, I want to say a big congratulations to Ukraine for winning the Eurovision Song Contest last night, and congratulations to all the countries that participated, even the ones that didn't get through to the finals, including Cyprus. Doesn't matter, better luck next time. Okay, so we're going to have a look at duplicates. I've got an example here for you. If we have a look at row number 2, which is right at the top here, it's lettuce, June, head for product, month and unit. And down here in red, we can see we've got a duplicate of that entry, and that one's in red, and that's one that I'm just trying to remove from my spreadsheet. I've got another duplicate here. This is row number 4, radishes. And then here's the duplicate. So essentially the reason I've got these in red, because these are the duplicates and these are the unique entries. So the first entry that's found is considered the unique entry, and then any other entries which are exactly the same are seen as duplicates and they are removed. Now we're going to learn how to remove duplicates in 2 different ways. One way being using the remove duplicates feature in Excel, and the other way using a function. Both essentially do the same thing. They remove the duplicates, but one for you may have an advantage over the other, and it really comes down to what it is that you want to do. Okay, so I've opened my spreadsheet here. You can see in this spreadsheet I've got 2 tables. The one table is to do with products, this one here, and the other table here is like a contact list with names and numbers. Now, the reason for this is so I can demonstrate that when we actually remove duplicates from this side or duplicates from this side, the corresponding table to the left or the right will not be affected. And this is really important and a fantastic feature of Excel. I have seen people in the past, when they want to remove duplicates, instead of using the features which Excel has, they do things like, just trying to delete a row. Like, let's say I want to delete this one here, right click, delete. But when you do that, it will actually delete the data on this side here as well. So if I delete that, you can see that number 4 has gone as well. The other method that I've seen people use is they will select the data from here, press delete, and then they have to, select the rest of the data and just move all of this up. Again, very, very tedious and definitely the wrong way to do things like this. So we're going to learn how to use the remove duplicates feature, which is in the data ribbon. We've got remove duplicates here. But before we do that, let's just identify and see what is considered the duplicate. So if I just look at this table here, if we see this entry here, we can see that radishes is, if we're going to be looking at all the columns, product, month, unit, and quantity, this is not a duplicate. It's not a duplicate because the month is different and the quantity is different. If I was, however, looking at only the column for product, then this is a duplicate. Now, I've got these in red and green for a specific reason. You're going to see why now. Same goes for this table over here. Here, the member number is actually a duplicate if I'm looking at this column only. But if I'm looking at, let's say, all 3 of these, member number, first name and last name, again, it's considered a duplicate. However, if I'm looking at these columns here, this is not a duplicate because the phone number is different. So you could also do this like this. You could be looking at only the member number and the telephone number. And in this case, this is not a duplicate because the telephone number is different. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate using this table over here now, how to use the remove duplicates. It's always advisable to make a copy of your data because the remove duplicates feature will actually remove those duplicates. They will be deleted. And you may want to have a comparison to see what is left behind and what you had to see what was deleted. So one method you can do, I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to put this over here. That gives me a duplicate of the table. So I've got both of them. And I'm going to use this table here for the remove duplicates. So I'm going to click anywhere in this table, makes absolutely no difference where. I'm going to go to my data ribbon here, click on remove duplicates, and you will see it will identify that table. Now it can do that if I just cancel that because I don't have any empty rows like this. Okay, and I don't have any empty columns like this. Okay, so if you don't have empty rows and empty columns in your table area, then anywhere you click is just fine. Click on remove duplicates. Now the first thing it asks you is, what are you going to consider to be a duplicate? In other words, which columns are you going to be comparing? If I have all 4 columns here, then essentially, let's see how many I've got. If I click OK, it's found 2 duplicates. Okay, and you can see, comparing the 2 tables, I've actually got 2 columns more over here on the left. Now that was comparing all of the columns. If I do that again, I've just did an undo there. Let's do that again. This time I'm going to compare only the product column. So anywhere where the product name is a duplicate. So let's do that. And you're going to see that only the red ones are going to be left behind. There we go. So it's removed 8 items. Now, if we see, why were the green ones removed? Well, that's because if we look at lettuce, let's look at this table here. So lettuce here is the first entry, and then when it finds lettuce again, say down here, that's considered the duplicate because it's the second one. If we take radishes, radishes is in red, it's the first one, and then it finds radishes again here, so the second one is deleted. So the first one is the unique value, and everything else is going to be duplicates. And we can see that in action here because here we've only got the red items left over. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick undo there. Okay, now the next thing that I want to show you is this. Let's say, for example, I want to produce a list of unique product items. Now, with this feature, with the remove duplicates, I would have to select this column, Control C, paste this in another column here, and then I'm going to do a remove duplicates function. So click anywhere here, go to remove duplicates. There's only one column, and I'm going to say OK. And now I've just created a unique list of product names. Now notice for this to work, I had to copy paste my data. So the first thing to notice about the remove or the remove duplicates function is that it's going to act upon the table that you have selected. Very important to note down. Okay, for this next one where I'm going to show you how to use the unique function, I'm going to jump over here where I've got just the one table. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click here. I'm just going to expand this so you can see the whole formula as I type it in. So I'm going to write equals unique. Now, the unique feature, you can see, you can have up to 3 parameters, but you only need the one. You only need to select the data range or that array. So if I just select this one here, then and I just close that now, it's going to filter. It's going to remove all the duplicates where the member number is the same, and it's going to make a duplicate of this data here. Okay, so it's not actually affecting the actual table because we're using a formula. It's got the formulas applied in a different cell. If I want to do duplicates based on the member number, first name and last name, and the telephone number, let's say, then I'm just going to click here, unique, open brackets. I'm going to select my range, close the brackets, and there are my unique values. And you can see 2 of them have been removed because this list here is 2 rows less. Okay, now what's the beautiful thing about the function? Well, the good thing here is this. Here I've got these 2 here which are not unique right now because they've got the different telephone number, and you can see here they've been added because the telephone number for these 2 is different, so they're not unique. Now if I was to change this, I'm just going to copy this one and I'm going to paste the telephone number here so it's the same. Have a look and see what's going to happen in this table. look at that. Automatically, this has now been modified. There's only one entry here. So using the function is actually a dynamic process. As you modify this data here, your function will automatically update and add or remove duplicates. So this is really good if you're sharing an Excel spreadsheet with other colleagues and they're going to be adding data. If they correct something, let's say they found a duplicate and they've corrected it, that table which you've got with your functions will identify as a duplicate and remove it. Or if a duplicate value has been identified and been removed from this list, and then this list is corrected. So I found this, I'm actually saying this is 2 different students. The number is actually different. I'm just going to change that to a 9. Now when I press enter, that value has also been added, that entry. So it's a fantastic way of removing duplicates and keeping a spreadsheet up to date, especially when you've got multiple people working on it. Now on this side, however, when we're using the remove duplicates, if I was to do this here, so if I was to remove this one, I'm just going to click anywhere here, go to remove duplicates, and let's say I'm only going to be focused on, let's say the row, we said the member number, the first name, last name, and phone number, so we'll make it exactly the same. You can see 2 duplicate values were found and removed. The other data has not been affected, but there's no way of me updating any other value and getting this corrected. Even if I do this, if I make this number here now, Control C, I make it the same as this number, making these 2 rows here the same, that's not updated. Okay, so I essentially have to run the remove duplicates feature again to identify those as duplicates. I'd have to do this. So click here, remove duplicates, row number, everything else, yes, and click OK. And now that one has been identified and removed. So it's not dynamic. The last tip I'm going to tell you is this one here. Okay, so here I've got my spreadsheet with only the one table in, just to make it easier to follow. And what I'm going to do now, instead of creating the unique function and basing it upon a range, let's say this range of data here, I don't want this column in here because these are unique anyway, so I can just get rid of it, but I'm going to leave it there. I want to create a unique list of entries for this data here. Now, if I was to select this data range, what would happen essentially, if I go to add something new at the bottom, I'd have to go modify that formula and do it again. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to, first of all, select the data range which I want to call or create a table on. So I select this table here. I'm going to go to insert at the top, and here it's got table. Now it's identified my table range and my table has headers as well. So I'm just going to click on OK. And look at that. Automatically I've got my filter buttons at the top, so I can sort my data as well. And it's also changed the color of each row so that I can identify rows easily. Now, what is the name of this table? So if you go here where the name box is on the top left corner, if I click on there, this is actually called table 6 and really doesn't make much sense. So I'm going to show you how to change the name. To change the name of the table, I'm going to go to formulas. I'm going to go to name manager. Here's my named table. I'm going to double click on this and just call this contacts. And click OK and close. So now what I've got a table here called contacts. And when I click on this, look at that, automatically selects that data there. So why is this going to be helpful? Well, let's just make our unique range here. So equals to unique. And my unique now is going to be based on this table. I want to remove all the duplicates which are in this table. Now, I can go and select all of this like before and it will identify the name, but that's really defeating the purpose. And the reason of actually naming that table is you might not know where that table range is, or this table may consist of thousands of rows, and you really don't want to be scrolling down and trying to find that range. So the other way of identifying that particular table is this. I can't go to the name box because I'm inside the formula here. If I try and go to the name box, it gives me different functions that I can add. But if I place my mouse pointer in the top left cell in the corner, so the top left cell is this one here, look at that. Can you see how my mouse is now changing into diagonal arrow downwards? There we go. Let's just do that again. So I'm going to move over here to the very first cell, top left, go in the top left corner, and there it is. And if I click here now, look at that. It's identified the table and it's added the name. And all I have to do now is close the brackets and press enter. Look at that. Already it's removed all the duplicates. Now, it can't be just that little advantage there. There's got to be more. Well, imagine if you've got this spreadsheet and it is being modified by a number of people. Again, we want this to be dynamic. Now, we said that if I change data from here, so if I make this number different now, and I'm going to make that an 8. Okay, as soon as I press enter, we can see this one has been added. And we've seen this already. We've already done this. But we haven't done this. Let's say I'm going to add another item at the bottom. Somebody wants to add another student or another contact. And you're collaborating with other people with this worksheet. So as soon as I start adding another entry, let's say entry number 15, look at this. As soon as I click away, okay, and I start now adding data. Let's say this is going to be my member number. Go next. Look at that. Already it's identified this as being unique. Now these are zeros because there's no data here. As I start adding data, I'm just going to write some silly things here now, and I'm just going to copy paste that number. So there's my unique entry. Now if I add something which is unique, number or duplicate 16, I'm just going to copy paste this data here, Control C, and paste that there. It doesn't appear. As soon as this data changes, I'm going to change that to a 1. Look at that. So you can see there's the entry there. It's added in. It's unique because that's got the number 1, whereas this entry up here, that's got the number 2 at the end. Now, we can also, it doesn't end there, if I was to delete a row from here, that will also be automatically updated. So if I was to select this row here, number 10, and you're going to see this one here, that's going to vanish. So as soon as I go to right click and I go to delete rows, look at that, that value has now vanished. So using tables, it's a fantastic idea. Instead of cell ranges, it's much more dynamic, allows you to add to the rows, and anything which is dependent upon that table will be automatically updated. Now, if you like this video, you've learned something new today, make sure you click like, make sure you subscribe, and that way you'll be able to stay up to date with any new videos I create. Take care. Bye-bye.